loves. Today we've got another decade series look. Today we have the 50s. This is the most excited I've been so far because when I think of 50s, I think of like Hollywood glam, nice big curls. I think of a cat eye. This is when like the cat eye started to become more popular, like a nice little wing or flick of the eyeliner. Veering away towards red. Red was still so popular. I may still do some kind of red vibe, but they were also playing with like pinks and corals as well on the lips and also on the eyes a little bit. Like eye makeup became a little bit more colorful, but today we're going to keep it more neutral because we've got some really fun decades where color was like it coming up soon, whereas I feel like the 50s, like there was a soft amount of color here and there, but those really iconic 50s looks like Hollywood movie stars, it's all about like those matte eyeshadows and just like a lot more contouring compared to the past. The cheeks as well are a lot more natural rather than like bright pink and like all like this in the middle, like, you know, the 40s look. It's used way more to enhance and like bring up your cheekbones and like contour your face a little bit, if that makes sense. So well, let's get started. I did not have anything 50s like for my outfit, except I had a top but it's nude and I was like, it just doesn't look very like glamorous. So I've got this dress on instead from Boohoo, which yeah, it's not really the right kind of silhouette, but hopefully the makeup brings it a bit more 50s. I feel like the necklace is quite 50s inspired. They used a lot of diamonds that were like those kind of leafy shapes, I feel like, do you know what I mean? And like always, we will do our hair at the end. So I'm just gonna jump in. I'm gonna start by priming my skin. I feel like I'm really gonna like this look today. Some people were like, please don't just do Marilyn Monroe. She's gonna be a little bit of inspiration for this video, but I am gonna use a whole lot of different like inspiration pictures, whatever you want to say. This was also like the Audrey Hepburn era, wasn't it? Grace Kelly, Marilyn Monroe. Like there's quite a lot of different people, but anyways. I mean, there's probably gonna be a little bit of an influence of Marilyn Monroe because her look was very iconic as well, and it's kind of like what you think of with the 50s. But let's just see where this goes. Today I'm gonna use a CoverGirl base, if I can grab it out. This is the first one I grabbed, and hey, it'll work for me because I've got a lot of redness today. This is the Color Neutralizing True Blend. And these primers are so good. I love, love, love them. My favorite is actually the purple one because it's super brightening and it's like a good dupe for that Becca one, the purple one. But anyways, I'm just going to massage this all over my face. Finally got back into wearing my Fitbit as well. Repping it again. Do you remember in my old videos how like every video I would be like glam to the days and then I just have like a Fitbit on? Like basically I'm back to that point in my life. I haven't used that in a while and I remember why I like it so much. It just makes your skin glow, feel hydrated, just looks great. Love it. I'm excited for the eyebrows too. Sometimes the eyebrows were still a little bit thinner, sometimes they were quite natural, but the thing with 50s eyebrows is like the arch. So I'm gonna conceal around my eyebrows softly and then we're gonna use an eyebrow pencil to kind of get that 50s brow a little bit later because it's really easy to make your eyebrows look much more arched. If yours are like mine and like a little bit more curled, like I definitely have a nice natural arch to my eyebrow just to make them a little bit more like full-on arch like the 50s. They really emphasized that. Sometimes they even had like a bit of a straighter brow and like really, you know, I feel like it's on trend again now, isn't it? Like that same kind of vibe. Look how beautiful. Oh, I just love, love, love these looks. There you go, there's the classic. So for foundation it says natural cream or liquid foundation used as a makeup base, sometimes a shade darker. As always, I will link below all of my previous decades looks, 20s, 30s and 40s. That's what I've done so far. I feel like you're going to see more of these series or these episodes now because I'm really getting into the fun stuff. Well, for me. Some of those past decades are not a vibe for like my makeup style. It just made me feel like a little spud. I'm going to use this foundation I've been using heaps lately. I've got a first impression on this up on my channel and I'll link it below for you. It is the Dior Forever Skin Glow Foundation. I also love the matte one. I might actually use like a little bit of both today. I can't decide which one I like more. I don't really know. Maybe the matte one slightly. I'm actually going to use a brush today. I know I barely ever use my brushes anymore to do my base, so I don't know, I've just got back into it a little bit lately. This is a round face brush by XO Beauty and I'm just gonna buff this in evenly just all over my face. Wait, I was meant to go around my eyebrow. Whatever. It's so funny how like with my routine I'm always chopping and changing. Like I do different techniques and then I go back to that and then I go forward again and then I go back to stuff that I used to love. I feel like I'm always doing that with like products and techniques and tools. Loving the brushes again. So I like to kind of like buff like this and also just stipple just to get a little bit more coverage where I want more coverage. This big huge pimple popped up overnight, which I find quite rude. Like it's actually large and I never get pimples there. So I'm like, why, where, when, how, and that's very disrespectful. I'm just going to build it up a little bit where I want a little bit more coverage because I feel like the bases were quite flawless. They probably just had like amazing skin, unlike myself as well, so we're just going to emulate that today. And if you're new to this channel or series or whatever, hello, you should subscribe. Also, my looks are not like historically like perfectly accurate. It's just like an inspiration and a bit of fun, and I just kind of like wing it and just see how it turns out, and sometimes it's a really big disaster and sometimes it like looks really cool, and usually people really enjoy these videos, so I hope you do too. It's just a bit of fun. This foundation looks so stunning with a brush too. Like, it's really nice with a sponge as well. Something about the smell of it too, that just smells luxurious. I don't know. Look at my pretty pink smoothie I made today as well. Well, it's not really a smoothie, it's more just like a protein shake. I did like protein powder, some extra supplements, and some fresh strawberries, and it's so good. If you guys get like a milkshake, for example, from the dairy, or what do you guys call it overseas, convenience store, or like if you get one from like McDonald's, Macca's, what flavor? I'm actually a huge fan of banana or vanilla. Alright, I'm gonna do a quick conceal because I look like a zombie. I've got this one that goes with the foundation Skin Correct Forever from Dior. This is the shade 2 and it kind of matches, so I'm just gonna match under my eyes. It doesn't look like they really did anything spectacular under the eyes, like it just always seemed to kind of match. I'm gonna add a little bit just over some of these breakouts as well. The reason I went for this kind of finish with my skin, because it does say natural kind of finishes. I don't know, like to me this is what I call like natural, like a little bit glowy, a little bit matte, like just kind of somewhere in between, and something that doesn't look too heavy but it still looks flawless. Do you know what I mean? There's a difference between like full coverage and looking heavy and then like full coverage. Like, I would still say this is full coverage, but it still looks like skin, so hopefully this does the look justice. And then this is probably something that they did not do, but I'm just going to go in with a little bit of my MAC contour kit. I'm using like the pale yellow, and I'm just putting that over my concealer just to make sure that it's all set. Today's look, or if it goes how I'm envisioning, is kind of like very similar to how I would actually do like a glamorous like red carpet makeup look like these days, except you know there's a little bit less contour, a little bit less like bronzer and everything. However, actually just thinking about it, for a really natural contoured look, because these ladies in my inspiration pictures have beautiful bone structure and I cannot relate. I'm not trying to put myself down here. I'm just being dead serious. They have the most amazing cheekbones. So I'm going to use a cream contour because this is going to look the most natural and just kind of blend into my skin. So I don't know. I've been obsessed with this one, you guys. Like really obsessed. I've used it almost every time I've done my makeup ever since I tried it for the first time in a vlog on my vlog channel. It's the Skin Sculpting Wand by Ofra. My shade is Sunset. I think it comes in a few different shades and it just looks so like real. So I'm just gonna use a little bit of this just to like contour a little bit. Once again, it should look quite natural, so it won't hopefully look like I've really contoured it all, and it's exactly what I want today because the contouring is not like a focal point of the 50s makeup in terms of literal contouring. It's more like using blush and stuff like that to kind of lift the face, which I'll show you later. Just using this Tapered Fibre brush, and I'm going to blend that out. And it's okay if it looks slightly harsh at first because it will soak in a little bit more too. Like as we continue with the rest of our makeup, it'll just settle in. And it's just like the perfect color for me. So good. I love this. This is definitely a favorite. Look how stunning. Honestly, I do see a lot of similarities. This is what's fun about the series. The 50s makeup trends, I do see similarities now as well. Obviously they're a little bit different, but you look at that, it almost looks like that foxy eye trend. Do you know what I mean? Like the really lifted eyebrows and minimal eye makeup on the bottom of her eye. The really sculpted eye makeup, kind of like cut crease vibes. It says here in the 50s, everything had style, including a woman's makeup. While the 1940s embraced a natural minimal makeup, which was my last video, the 1950s woman painted her face with new colors, exaggerated lines, and a tweaked architecture, which is kind of like a bit more like of a contoured effect to the eye makeup, into the cheekbones and everything. She was now free to follow the trends and perfectly match her lips and eyeshadow to her purse, her hat, her gloves, shoes, car, house, washing machine, etc. I'm not kidding. A perfectly coordinated head to toe look was always ideal, although not without debate. Rosy red cheeks were out of fashion now. If any rouge was used, it was for contouring the cheekbones. Lots of creams. It says here, apply a little cream rouge on the upper cheekbones. Brush upwards to the temple, blending as you go. This high rouge application gives the face an overall lift. If you have defined cheekbones, you don't need this step. Let's just whip some of that on quickly before we do any kind of setting. Pink tones were like favored a lot more. I did see something about how the 50s was like the pink era when it came to like makeup. A lot of pink eyeshadows, pink blush, pink lips, compared to previously it was a lot more like red and bold. This cream blush is called My Everything and it is by Pony Effect. It's so good. I love this. I'm going to use the same brushes I used just before. I'm going to put it straight on there. Stipple a little bit up here, and once again it's okay if it looks a little bit more dramatic straight away because it soaks in a little bit, keeping it a little bit higher like that. If it doesn't tone down as much as you would like, it's so easy, just go back over with your foundation brush and tone it down that way. But I'm just going to apply a little bit more because it's such a pale color, and I'm gonna just see how it goes while I do my makeup. So applying the blush like up here. This is what I do anyway. You guys know when I wear blush, I do it here because it really lifts the face. In previous eras, you know, putting it like right on the apple or like right across, oh man, it just made me look, it's not even like bad. I just looked so young and there was just something about it. It wasn't my vibe. I don't know. I prefer to look like snatched and like sexy and seductive. I don't want to look youthful. Alright, now let's just quickly do the eyebrows. That's going to be very simple. Once again, they did like to use, I think, eyebrow pencils and things like that. I'm going to use one of my favorites at the moment, the P.O.BOX one. And I'm just going to use the spoolie to brush up the hairs to create an instant lifted effect. And then when it comes to the actual shape, I'm going to heighten that absolute point of the arch and then kind of just thin out towards the ends. Just giving myself that very arched brow. Usually I curve this off because I think it looks softer and really nice on my personal, like, you know, features. But they were definitely about that kind of more arched brow and it looked stunning. I used to actually do my eyebrows like this a few years back, or a lot of years back. Like, you know, when I was first getting into doing my eyebrows, I remember doing quite a like thick pointed eyebrow. Keeping them relatively natural still though, like not making them look too filled in. Oh my gosh, I should do, in this series, I should do a look of like the 2010s when like everyone was first starting into makeup. I used to use concealer, those lipstick shaped concealers, like on my lips and all over my face as my foundation. Wow. I used to get them from like Posty Plus. Anyone else? Or was that just me? I don't know. Just doing nice small strokes through the front so it looks quite natural but just a little bit darker. And then this isn't necessarily something, I don't think they did this, but I'm just going to set them in place as well using my 24-hour brow setter by Benefit. It's just clear. Alright, onto the eye makeup. So I did see a whole lot of like matte eyeshadows. I know they did use some shimmers as well. Once again, you know, there's the whole era of just straight up neutrals and sculpting the eye. They also experimented with some colors and things, but I'm going to save the color for one of my next looks. Like this look here, for example, this one states natural dewy eye look and mascara on the top, and then this one says sometimes matched to outfits. Today I'm wearing red. I don't think they really wore red eyeshadow. Maybe a soft touch of pink. We might add a little bit of that. Doe eyes consist of soft full lashes, black eyeliner and light shadow. So we're gonna kind of go with that classic look. Like that's the look I think of when I think of the 50s. You guys may disagree, but hey, it's okay. I think I'm gonna use my Makeup Geek eyeshadows today. We've got this really nice kind of like pinky tone here as well, since, you know, pink tones were in. I've got a bit of pink on my top, so we'll do neutrals with like the real soft touches of pink. And I feel like this is really where people started to define their socket a little bit more, like their crease and everything. I'm gonna start with a little bit of Creme Brûlée, and this is on a fluffy blender brush. I'm just going to add a small amount of this just through the crease to begin the definition process. And we're keeping all of the eye makeup on the top, really giving that doe-eyed effect once again and really bright-eyed kind of look. Now this one here is a similar tone, like depth, but it's a little bit cooler tone, so we're gonna like sculpt our eyes a little bit more in the deep crease area. This is Beach Please by Makeup Geek. I'm using a vegan fluffy blender brush, and I'm just going to apply this in the deepest part of the crease and just make sure to blend that out really well. Do you see how the blush is kind of settling in now and the contour and everything? Like it looks way more natural than when I first applied it. So I'm just using the very tip of this brush with the lightest pressure just to apply it right in the deepest area of my natural crease, just to intensify the shape of my eye like naturally without looking like I'm wearing heaps and heaps of eyeshadow. And I'm just going to go back in with my blender brush and make sure it's all smooth. And I'm going to use this MAC 239S brush. And I think I'll use Shimmer Shimmer, which is like a pink tone, like shimmery kind of color, just on the eyelid. It's not too like metallic, it's just like really soft. And we're almost going to like do that kind of Marilyn Monroe vibe, like a little bit of a cut crease effect without going too heavy, just to really sculpt out our eye. And then going back in and blending that as well. And I'm going to use a little bit of this just to emphasize the arch of my eyebrow as well on the brow bone. This is such a nice brow bone color. I'm thinking on the lips we will do like the classic 50s like pinky red kind of vibe instead of like a straight out red like we've done in the past. You know, they were starting to experiment way more with pinky tones, not light pinks, but you know, those like bold almost red pinks. All right, just blending that out one more time, and then we're going to take a little eye definer brush. We will use like a gel eyeliner, but I just want to map out where I want to put my eyeliner first. So using a black, this is Smoke Signal eyeshadow by Makeup Geek. The wings weren't as dramatic as what I like to do these days. So we're gonna go for like a smaller wing, just kind of carrying on the shape of my eye, something like that. And then the eyeliner did go like all the way across. The only reason I'm doing this before I do the gel is because I just wasn't confident in my ability to like go in straight away with gel eyeliner and not do like a huge wing. I'm gonna use Black Track by MAC, and I like this on an eyeliner brush, and I'm just going to kind of trace over and do a nice small sharp wing. All right, so there's the wing, and I've just put on a little bit of mascara. I used the Lash Freak again. This is the second time I've used it. I used it in a first impression full face. I don't think I like it. I don't think I recommend it. It's so tricky to use. Like, it gets clumpy too quick, I think. It just applies so much. Usually I like one that applies a lot, but this one's like scary. Anyways, so I did mess up a little bit. I'll clean it up once it's dry. I'm gonna use Falsies just like my other videos, just to kind of give the full effect. So I feel like we want to do a little bit of a kind of winged out vibe. I don't know if they wore Falsies very often. I think they did. I think they might have. The Audrey Hepburn. That is Audrey Hepburn. I imagine if it wasn't, I'm just like this. Audrey Hepburn. She's got the prettiest little doe eyes. So I'm gonna just apply. Actually, I might just apply half lashes. Actually, I might do Prima Donna, because Prima Donna are clustered at the ends and then on the inside very natural, and I think that might look really nice because it'll look like a half lash kind of, where most of the drama is on the outer corner. It'll just fill in the gaps because I've kind of, I don't know, the mascara doesn't really do much for my lashes at all. So I'm going to trim them from the outer corner and then apply these. So here is how my lashes look before and after. I'm squinting a little bit because it's so bright outside. Yeah, they look really pretty. Perfect. Not too heavy, not too light, just like the nice little balance. I need to get off all this mascara that went everywhere. That was very handy. I also just popped on a little bit of my Brow Contour Pro highlighter shade just in my waterline to get that kind of Audrey Hepburn really bright doe-eyed effect. So I feel like the cheeks look pretty good. By the way, if you did notice, no, you aren't going crazy. I did forget to blend out my concealer on my chin. I just like went over with my concealer brush and went like this. Luckily it blended out okay, but I completely forgot to blend it in. I don't know what came over me. Anyway, so for the lips, we have full lips with a lip pencil outline, often more soft and rounded through the center all the way to the outer corner. Almost sounds like how I normally would do my lips, except I obviously overline mine a little bit, but like, let's just see where this like goes. I don't know. I'm going for a pinky reddy kind of vibe. Maybe this would be a good color. This is the Carly Bible Il Maquillage Lip Pencil in a Blaze. So I'm overlining like the part where I'm making it a little bit more round and then just kind of following my natural lip shape underneath. This color is so pretty. I feel like you could use this lip pencil with like a pink or a red and it would just look good with either. Love that color. On the inside, I'm just going to put on Kairos by XO Beauty and blend those colors together really well. Because Kairos is more of like a pinky coral, so I'm hoping it'll give me like the perfect effect. Yeah, I think that looks perfect. I'm just going to go over my face with a really light dusting of setting powder now. This is the Cover FX G20 Mineral Foundation, just to reduce a little bit of shine through the like T-zone. I'm also dusting a slight touch of it just over my eyebrows just because they look kind of shiny right now, so I'm just going to mattify them. I'm actually really wanting just to add a little bit of brow gel, fill them in a little bit more. So this is the Fibre Gel in Lingering by MAC, and I'm not using much at all. I'm just literally using a tiny amount just to like kind of fill in some of those front areas mostly. It's good. Looks quite natural. This is very similar to like Gimme Brow by Benefit in my opinion. Okay, so the makeup's done now. On to the hair. So my hair went to the gym this morning. Hopefully it's not too oily. We're gonna do some really nice big Hollywood curls. I've actually done similar looks in the past on my channel, but let's just do it together again today. Oh my gosh, what a mess. Alright, so I've got my curling wand like jammed into my drawer. I'm like, okay, I don't know where to put it right now. So I decided to do that. It doesn't sit up on its own. It's by Numi. And it's just like a huge wand, like thick boy. And then I have my Numi hairbrush. I actually have a GHD one the same as this too, and I'm obsessed with that one as well. But that one's in my bathroom right now, so we're rocking the Numi one today. I love how I've like tied up my hair in a bun, and this has happened to my front section, like being cute. So for today we're gonna do big bouncy curls, and I think I'm gonna do a little bit more of a side part. So I'll just go like that, and I'm gonna curl all in the same direction. So from this side I'm gonna curl away from my face, and then this side I'm gonna curl towards my face. So I'm just going to go half and half just to keep it simple, and before I start I'm going to spray some heat protectant spray. This is the Unplugged by GHD. Applying a small amount of that through. And I'm just going to start at the back because I find it easier. And then like I said, this side I'm going to curl away from my face. I'm going to try and keep the hair quite flat against the iron. So just using like my 2 fingers to kind of maneuver it around. I'm going to curl pretty much to the ends too to make it super glam and make my hair look a little bit shorter too. So once it's been there for a few seconds, I'm going to let it out into my hand. If you want, you can like pin them up. Just pin them like this so they can cool down properly. I just leave them for a few seconds in my hand, and then you'll have something like that. And we're not going to brush it out to the very end, so I'm just going to flick that back and continue around the rest of my hair. So once again, just maneuvering the hair quite flat against the barrel, and you can see how thick this is. It's quite thick. How many times can I say thick in one video? I don't know. And you should probably use a glove, but I'm lazy. I can't be bothered going to get mine, so hopefully I don't burn myself. Do as I say, not as I do. Right, I'm on the other side of my head now. You might hear Louis crying. He's not feeling very well, so as soon as I'm finished this video, I'm gonna go cuddle up with him. I've just given him a nice gentle meal of chicken and rice. That's his little I'm sick meal, but he's currently crying at my knees because he just wants me to give him attention. Now I'm gonna go towards my face on the side. Once again, trying to keep that hair relatively flat rather than twisting it and curling from root to end. I'm just letting it cool down in my hand. And there you go. Alright, I'll just show you this front bit. I should have done my victory rolls in this way, like just used the curler and then just like held it up there. Like that would have been way more effective, I feel like. For my last tutorial, I mean. Get away from the heat tool, Louis. Alright, and then the very front, I'm kind of just getting right up in that root and then almost holding it vertical, getting as close to the root as I can without burning myself. Okay, and then don't need too long there because it's quite fine hair around my face, so I don't like to use the tool on for too long. Can you see that lift though? Like that's what we want. Alright, I'm going to turn that off and just let that cool down away from Louis because he will burn himself. He's okay. He's not happy at all. Oh, darling. 5 more minutes and we can cuddle and snuggle on the couch while I edit, okay? Alright, so now what I'm going to do is just brush the curls so they all like kind of become one almost. Just using my brush to gently comb through. If you pin them, I feel like they'll be even more accurate because they'll kind of like give you a lot more bounce through the mid-lengths. Because my hair's quite long, obviously it drops a little bit more. And then I feel like it's the super like 50s like romantic kind of vibe to almost have the curls facing your face on one side. It just looks quite like, I don't know, vintage I guess. Just using my fingers to kind of manipulate the hair, I guess. You know I'm not very good at hair, but I do like this look. I've done it before. I'm just going to use a little bit of spray just to try to give a little bit more lift through here. I'm just going to turn on my lights because it got super dull outside all of a sudden. I feel like I could have even done a deeper side parting, but it's a little bit late now. So this is my 1950s inspired Hollywood glam kind of look, just a very neutral one. A really fun pinky red lip, flicked cat eye eyeliner, sculpted eyes, the high placement of blush to really lift the face. Very fresh, and then like the super arched eyebrow as well. I'm just going to finish off with a little bit of setting spray. This is the Colourpop Pretty Fresh setting spray, just to make my skin look super natural once again, like the finish of my skin. Let me know what you thought of this look. This is probably my favorite look so far. Literally, if I just chucked on slightly more dramatic eye makeup, a bit of a thicker wing, some bronzer, some contour, like it'd almost be just a really nice glam look that I would wear happily today. I still love this though. I still think it looks really pretty. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will talk to you guys in the next look, which is going to be my 60s look. Very excited. It's going to be a little bit more creative and maybe a little bit less wearable, depending who you are. I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!